Hi, everybody. It's your podcast, Sista Lisa. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're ready to rock the house today. I have a great guest. You're going to love her music. Billie Joe Jones, all the way from Dallas, Texas. There she is. How you doing, Billie Joe?
Hi, I am doing amazing. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for joining me today.
No, thank you so much for taking the time to have me on your show. I am so excited and so thrilled to chat and catch up and let you know all my secrets.
Okay, great. Well, I'll tell you, you have been very, very busy. I think for the last year and a half, from what I've read. And we're going to kind of talk about some of the things that you've released recently, as well as your album. But I wanted to just start off first by talking about you are a favorite in your hometown of Texas. You've had 3 consecutive hit singles. You've been named in Texas radio as a favorite artist. And, how did you get your start in music in Texas?
Well, I would probably have to say, like the short story version, I was raised by my grandparents since I was 1. They would sit in the living room and watch me sing when I was, 3, 4, 5 years old. I'd put on little living room concerts for them. And that's where I found that I loved old country music. We would listen to the Opry when it came on, and we'd listen to the radio and listen to, George Jones, Patsy Cline, Tammy Wynette, all the greats. And then it kind of went from there to where I would sing at church, at my local church. And then I started singing at, fairs and festivals around my hometown and little Opries around the place. And then went from there to some bigger stages where I got to share the stage with Ray Price when I was 18 years old. And now it's crazy. It's, I went from the living room stage, all the way to these really big stages that I've been playing on lately. Just played a show and sang a duet with Shenandoah recently at Billy Bob's here in Texas. And it's just been really incredible, especially still having my grandparents here with me. They are 90 and 87 years old and are my absolute world. So I'm very blessed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I'm so happy that your grandparents have been, behind you and supporting you. And I saw on one of your social media reels the most adorable old clip of you dressed as Pocahontas as a little girl with your grandfather watching you and coaching you to sing on camera. And you were, I don't know, maybe 5 years old, 6 years old. And it was just precious. What do you remember those kinds of moments, or did the film and the video kind of bring something to your memory?
No, I remember all of those moments. It's kind of, it's crazy because there's a song I've been working on called "Remembering the Memories," and I think it's just really cool that whenever you grow up, you do forget things, and sometimes there are things that like trigger your memory, like, oh yeah, like I this did happen, or I did do that. But the moments with my grandparents, I don't need videos of them. I mean, it's great to watch them, but like I remember all of those precious memories with my grandparents. It's just instilled into my brain, and I can go back to those moments and remember exactly what I was doing, what I was wearing, and it's just been amazing. I know it's kind of, I went from, the reason why my grandparents raised me is because my mom was and still is a drug addict to this day that I've, only seen a couple times my whole life. So, being raised by my grandparents wasn't the normal thing, that happens, but it's how God had it planned out. And I'm just so blessed that it did, because I wouldn't be who I am today without them.
I'm just so amazed by how open and honest you are about, your upbringing. And, obviously all of us have had experiences in one way, shape, or form in families or family members or friends that have had, issues with drugs. And, so you're not alone in that. And, how do you deal with some of that? Does it find that songs and music has helped you throughout your growing years, as particularly to get through some of the feelings you may have?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, music is what I love and what I've done since I was a little girl. And I always wanted to be a country singer. That's always been the plan. But I honestly didn't start writing songs until I was about 25 years old ish. And then once I started writing songs, I finally sat down a couple of years ago, and I have those memories of me sitting at my grandparents' house, and my mom would call and say she was going to come visit, and I would sit in my window and wait for her to show up, and she would never show up. And that's kind of been a memory that's like stuck with me my whole life, is that she would say she was coming and she never would. And so I sat down one day and I had every intention of writing a mean, hurtful song to kind of release those feelings, because I had a lot of hurt and anger built up in me over the last 30 something years. And I sat down and wound up writing a really beautiful love story for my grandmother. I released it on my album last year. It's called She Did, and it's a song about my mom and how she didn't show up, but she did, how my grandmother did. So music heals, and I am a firm believer in that. And I am a firm believer in sharing my story and being real, raw, and honest, so that it can help other people in the same situation or similar situations out there. And it already has. It's touched, so many people. So I'm thankful for the song, and I wrote it in like 30 minutes, and it's slowly but surely changing my life, and it's changing other people's lives around me as well.
Yeah, I love that song. As a matter of fact, I was going to touch base with you on it. I think you wrote that in 2020, and it gave me goosebumps. It was beautifully written, and I encourage everyone listening to go to Spotify, see all of Billie Joe Jones's songs. But if you want to key in on that particular song, She Did, I think that you'll feel the goosebumps as well. Do you have any advice for anyone who may be listening to this that is kind of in a similar situation that you've been, confronted with throughout your life? Do you have any advice?
I would probably have to say the biggest advice for me is, and it's hard because I was super lucky. I was one of the lucky ones that did have my grandparents. There's some people out there that don't have anyone, and they are, living with their parents or their aunt or their uncle or whoever who is addicted to drugs, and they don't have the support that I have. So I am very lucky in that sense. But I think the best advice that I can give anyone is to just keep going, keep fighting every day, and don't let the decisions and the mistakes of other people in your life define who you are. You don't have to follow in those footsteps. You can break the cycle, and you can be a better person than what they are. And you can still love them from a distance and pray for them, or just distance yourself from them and not speak to them, because that's kind of what I've had to do. But I think the biggest advice is just to break the cycle and be a better person than what they are. Have a better legacy than what they're leaving.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And I think that's well said. You're a strong woman and you are real. I think that is why everyone just loves you and your music and how you captivate the audience on stage. I find that you have this gift. You are able to work your magic, and when you're singing, you can take the listener to that place that you're singing about. And I absolutely felt that way with the song Simpler Way of Life. And it's just beautiful. Do you kind of just, when you're performing, do you put your heart and soul in every performance? Is it coming from the heart? Like, where does that special gift come from?
I honestly don't know. I've kind of always been this way my whole life, where I'm actually pretty a shy introverted kind of person, depending on who I'm around. But for the most part, I really am a shy person. And so, and I also get like really nervous. But the moment that, the stage lights come on and it's my time to go out on stage, I kind of turn into this whole other person. Not really another person. It's like my performance mode, I guess. And as soon as I hit the stage, it's like, I'm there. I'm locked in. I'm zoned in. I'm feeling every single lyric that I'm singing, no matter if I'm covering Blame It on Your Heart. You better believe I'm up there looking at someone in the audience, singing it to them, pretending like they're the ones, that I'm singing about. I kind of put myself in the shoes of whatever song it is. So especially for my own songs and songs that I've written or songs that other people have written that they've given me, I definitely, have just always been able to put myself in those situations. And that's, my grandparents have really worked with me and instilled it in me. Pronounce your words, enunciate your words so people can understand what you're singing. My papa used to show me how to hold the microphone whenever I would sing. And he's like, no, you need to pull it away when you're hitting the high notes and get it closer so people can hear you. And so they've always worked with me, and especially with, performing. It's just one of those things that just kind of happens. I can't explain it. I don't know how it happens, but I've just always been able to be that person that can put myself in any situation. Even there's a couple of songs I've written that have not happened to me. I have no idea about anything except that when I'm writing, I do pretend like it's me. I pretend like it's about me or that I've lived it, because that does help me. When I am singing the song, people can feel that kind of what you're saying. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like how you describe that part of you as an entertainer, because that is important, how you connect, whether it's, with the audience or the listener when you're producing a song in the studio. You have been a performer for singing the national anthem for the Texas Rangers quite a few times, and I see you have your shirt on. And so I read that you were asked when you were in high school for the very first time to sing the national anthem by the superintendent. And what was that like as a teenager? And the second part of that question is, did you ever think as an adult you would be doing the national anthem for the Texas Rangers?
Oh goodness. Yeah, I mean, people in school knew that I could sing, or that I was trying to sing, how kids are. And my superintendent, his name is David Seago. He heard me sing at the fair, the Rains County Fair, because I was singing at our little hometown fair back in the day. I'm from a really small town called Emory, Texas. And so he heard me sing, and he's like, have you ever thought about singing the national anthem? And I was a freshman in high school, and I was like, no, sir, I've, never thought about singing that song. He's like, well, I think you should think about singing it, and then, come try and sing it at some of the basketball games that we've got here. And I was like, okay. And so I learned it, and I sang it a few times at the games, and they were just blown away. And he actually is the one that put my name in the hat to be able to sing the national anthem at the girls' state basketball playoffs in Austin, Texas. And so he helped me get that. And I did that every single year. So freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, I sang at the girls' state basketball playoffs in Austin, Texas. And talk about nerve-wracking. No matter what, no matter where I am, when I'm singing the national anthem, I am a nervous wreck, a complete nervous wreck, because, it only takes, a wrong note or a wrong word to mess up the whole song. And that song is just precious to the world. And so there's a lot of pressure on your shoulders when you're singing it. But I love singing that song, and it's crazy because I love that man. I love David Seago so much, and he actually passed away recently, and I went and sang at his funeral. So that's crazy that you brought him up, but yeah, he's one of the reasons that I sing the national anthem, and that getting emotional, that I have had the opportunity to sing at the Texas Rangers, I think 6 or 7 times now. And that's like 40,000 people, which is absolutely insane. Not to mention the people that are watching at home during the 7th inning stretch. I get to do God Bless America as well. So never in a million years did I think I would ever be doing that. I mean, I always had dreams that, I was going to be a big country singer, but everybody has those dreams. And now that they're kind of slowly coming true, it's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. And I'm very blessed.
Yeah. And you're also a hard worker. I mean, you really put in the work. I want to talk about your album and also your latest release. You actually have two of them, and I want to feature for my first snippet your song "Flame."
Yes.
And before I play that song snippet, tell us about that song.
Yeah, so I had an idea for a song because of something that had happened. It's actually a little bit of a true story. And so I had an idea for this song, and at first it was going to be called something totally different. And I had this idea, I took it to my label. They're like, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, okay, so the girl math wasn't mathing on what I was trying to say. And so we actually wound up fixing it. So myself, Tammy Marlar, Lynn Snow, and then Bobby E. Boyd. Bobby actually wrote God Bless the Broken Road for Rascal Flatts. We all sat down, we were at a writer's retreat at my label's house. And we took bits and pieces of what I already had, and we made Flame. And I wanted it to be a little bit of, the classic Jolene, Dolly Parton style, mixed with the sassiness of like Fifth City, Loretta Lynn. And so we kind of took both of those and put it together. And it's exactly what Billie Joe Jones did in the situation. And it's a fiery, sassy song that is a women's anthem song. And I think even the guys like it. They're like, yeah, I want a girl like that. So that's called Flame.
Well, that was a great introduction for this song snippet. And here we go, Flame by Billie Joe Jones. And when we come back, we'll talk more music.
Sure, but we got history. It's kinda sad you chase after what will never be. 'Cause if you took your bait, there's no damn way you'd be the man for me. He ain't looking at you, and honey, I'm the one to blame. You think you've got what it takes, but I'm his everything. Playing for keeps, you're just playing games. Honey, I'm more than just a spark. I'm the whole damn flame.
Oh my gosh, I love that song. I mean, I could see where this is that anthem for Don't Mess With Me. So, you were talking about your label, and I always love to know, what did it feel like when you got the call from Get Joe Records that they wanted to sign you on their label? This is something that, indie artists, and they wait for that moment. How did you feel when you got that call?
Oh gosh, it's one of those feelings that like you've wanted it for so long, and then it's finally happening. I'm the kind of person that like, I don't get excited about something unless it is like for sure happening, because I've just been let down so many times that I don't want to get my hopes up, and then my hopes get crushed again, because this music business is all about 10 no's and 1 yes. That's pretty much how it boils down to. And so whenever, it was crazy because I was actually opening for Billy Bob Thornton in Lindale, Texas, about 3.5 years ago. And Get Joe Records was there, and they were listening to me, and they're like, hey, we would, we're not promising anything, but we do have some connections, and we, have people we can introduce you to. It's just up to you to be able to open those doors, or, if they want to open those doors for you. And so we started talking, and he introduced me to which is now my producer, Dolly Parton's producer, Kent Wells. And I had to audition for him in his studio, just me and my guitar, singing my little songs, covered a few covers, most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done in my life. And he was absolutely blown away, loved my voice, and was like, yeah, I definitely want to work with you. So they signed me to a deal a few weeks later, and we've been working together now for, I think, about 3.5 years now. And we are working on my second album that's coming out later this year. So it's been awesome. I mean, once you get the right team behind you, everything else just kind of falls into place.
Yeah. That's great. Congratulations on that. And I read that Artemis Pyle from Leonard Skinner's band is also on that label. And how cool is that? I mean, it's nice to see that he's still out there, performing in front of audiences and making music. I mean, what a legend.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And he's such a sweetheart. He's so funny too. So, but yeah, he's out there, playing shows, and they did a whole album with him and brought in like Sammy Hagar and Dolly Parton and just everyone. And it was just absolutely awesome. That whole album is awesome.
Well, I'm happy for you that you're part of that great organization. Let's talk about your debut album, Billie Joe. Some Girls Don't Cry. And I'll tell you, I'm not a crier. I will say that my adult children have seen me maybe cry 5 times, maybe at funerals. Other than that, you will never see me cry in front of a man. I don't know why that is. It's probably because of my upbringing. Tough life like everybody else. But why don't you tell me, what does that title mean to you?
Yeah. So I didn't write this song, but I'm telling you, if there's a song out there that I could have wrote, this would have been it. It's one of those songs that when the label showed me, so Lynn Snow actually wrote this song. And when I heard it, I was like, I have to have this song. The lyrics just spoke to me. I've been through it 100 times in my life. And it was just one of those songs where I was like, this is it. This is every woman's anthem song that they should be singing, because you should never let a man or anyone control you or your happiness, because us girls deserve the best, and so that's kind of where I came from on that. Is it's a women's anthem song. And it's one of those songs which I am a crier, obviously. I just teared up a while ago, but I pretend like I'm not, so I have my side in here. I'm like, you're not going to hurt me. I might cry behind closed doors, but you're not going to see me do that. But yeah, whenever I heard the song, I was like, this is it. And it's so crazy because I had someone reach out to me on Instagram when I released this song, and they were like, I'm a happily married woman, but I'm screaming this song at the top of my lungs. And I was like, yes, that's what we need right there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it. Yeah. And I encourage everyone to download and add that album and those great songs, 10 of them, 10 great songs to your collections. So I want to feature a second song snippet of yours. And this is just come out as a remix. The song is Why You Gotta Be So Cowboy, and it's a dance remix. And I love it. I mean, I'm ready to hit the dance floor listening to it. So why don't we go ahead and play this song?
Perfect.
Why You Gotta Be So Cowboy by Billie Joe Jones. And when we come back, we're going to talk more music.
Well, that just ain't gonna impress me. I don't need no Marlboro Man. I like dirty boots and callous hands. I know you wanna take me for a ride. Maybe I'd like a drive, running solo, getting down low. Why you gotta be so cowboy? Redneck yo-yo.
I love that song, and it is going to be a favorite for all those on the dance floor. So congratulations on that song.
Thank you.
So let's talk about your touring schedule. I took a look at it, and, you are really pretty booked throughout the rest of the year. And I mean, how do you find the time to manage and balance home life and being on the road and all that?
It's honestly not as difficult as it as people think it is. I don't know. I guess it's just because I've just been doing it for so long. It's just natural, I guess. Not to mention I have an amazing support system here. My best friend has lived with me and worked for me for almost 9 years now. She watches my kiddos whenever I go out on the road so that I can go travel and tour. So I know they're in great hands. I don't have to worry about anything at home. I know everything's taken care of and they're alive and fed and happy. And sometimes they'll go with me. My daughter's actually about to get her permit. So I feel like she's going to be with me a lot more driving me around. So I'm going to have a personal chauffeur pretty soon.
Aw.
But yeah, everything has absolutely just been going great. My touring schedule is crazy right now. We are still adding shows though. So we're adding a bunch of tours, and I've got a couple pop-up shows I'm doing with people that I can't announce just yet, but they're going to be really, really big and really cool. So I'm excited to hit the road, like literally.
Good. And everybody needs to check out your website because that's where
Yes.
most of the tour dates were listed. And I did see too that you were at Fan Fest or the CMA 2025.
Yes.
And how was that?
That was amazing. That was my first time ever being a part of CMA Fest. That was absolutely incredible. I had a line of people, waiting to talk to me and get my autograph, which I thought was so cool because I'm like, wow, people actually like know who I am. I just thought that was neat. They're like, oh, we saw you over in Nebraska. Oh, we saw you when you played in Virginia. We saw you when you played in Ohio. Like, it was cool to see all those people there that knew who I was and, wanted to meet me and take pictures. And I wound up like even going and seeing people when I was done because, the booth times, you only have a certain amount of time in the booth. And so I wound up running out of time to see everyone and stayed and, signed some more autographs and stuff when I was done. So it was really cool. It's something that I hope I get to be a part of every year. So
Well, that's great. And I'm sure your family was so proud of you.
yes.
That's quite an accomplishment. And speaking of which accomplishment, you're going to be releasing, like you said, your second album. And when will that be coming out? I mean, anything we need to know and your fans should look forward to?
Yeah. So my new album is coming out this fall. We've actually written way too many songs. So we're actually in the process of cutting it down, to where we only have about 13 or 14 songs because we have way too many. I told them, I was like, we ought to just do a double album, release, like 25 songs and we're good. But I'm super proud of this album because the first album that I released, Some Girls Don't Cry, last year, I'd only written about 2 of the 10 songs. And on this album, I have either wrote or co-wrote almost all of them except for maybe one song on the entire album. So I've been writing my little tell off and I'm super proud of it. It's my best work yet. And the title of the album is actually going to be called Turquoise and Silver. So we do have that finalized. So album title is Turquoise and Silver, coming out this fall, probably around the same time, which I think you already know and you're going to bring it up, but I'm going to be on a TV show this fall called The Road. It's going to be on CBS and Paramount Plus. I am one of the 12 finalists that will be competing. So y'all need to tune in on Sunday nights. I don't know when it's starting just yet, but I know it's sometime in the fall, and see how far I get, because that was absolutely incredible. We got to tour with Keith Urban and open up for his crowd, and then that crowd picked who got to move on to the next round each night. So it's a Taylor Sheridan show. Blake Shelton's a part of it, Gretchen Wilson, and there's so many other guest artists it's going to be incredible. I'm telling you, this is going to be the best reality TV show, the best singing show that's ever been out. So I'm excited.
Oh, you're so blessed. That is awesome. And I can't wait to see you on that show. I know that everyone listening to this podcast, it's, I think, some breaking news. It really is, especially with Taylor Sheridan. I mean, Yellowstone producer and creator. And like you said, it is going to be an awesome reality type show featuring you and other performers. And are you working on anything else that we should know about before we close the show?
There's some stuff that's going on in the background that I can't say yet, but I think this is going to be a really, really great year. I mean, it's already been an amazing year and a half with, 3 consecutive #1s in Texas. I'm Female Vocalist of the Year in Texas right now. I had my first ever #1 Amazon bestseller song for Whose Tequila Are You Drinking? And there's so many good things happening right now. So I'm excited for everyone to see the show, hear my new songs on my new album that's coming out, and y'all just be, hanging in there with me. Watch my socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I still do all of that myself. So if I comment back to you, it's me. So send me a message and let me know what you think about my music.
Oh, you're awesome. And I can't thank you enough for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join me today. I look
Thank
forward
you.
to maybe, oh, absolutely. I want you to come back,
Yes,
once
you.
that album's released and we can, hear what you're up to. And again, thank you so much. You are remarkable in many ways. And like I always say, Billie Joe, at the end of my podcast, that's a wrap.